In today's episode of the social media program, it's about bucking the system and going rogue. Things that you can learn from my failures as a creator. So I've been going through this since 2008, and as the years have progressed, the systems have gotten more and more complex. So when I think about YouTube when I first started versus YouTube in 2023, it is a completely different monster. The same with Facebook, Pinterest, and all of those have been morphing over time. One of the things that I have learned the hard lesson is bucking the system and going rogue and saying, you know what, I don't want to do it the way that this platform is telling me to do it. I'm going to do it my way. And when you think along those terms, especially in my case, sometimes it's a great thing, but most times it will end up in a failure because you're not working with the system platform in order to really advance yourself forward. So let's talk about some examples. About once every 3 years, our YouTube channel needs a complete overhaul. New titles, new thumbnails, new metadata, and everything in order to keep up. Now, as you keep building content like I have with over 4,500 videos here, that kind of work every 3 years is getting exponential because I keep adding more and more. So it becomes more and more daunting as a creator, especially if you're on your own like I am with some of the platforms. And I have teams in order to help me with other stuff. But most of the main hard lifting when it comes to the programming is on my shoulders, and it will probably be on yours as well. The best way to describe something like this is that your photographs have the ability through algorithms to know what is in the photograph without actually you telling all these computer systems what exactly it is. Think about it. Your phone can identify a face, it can identify pets or animals, and it can do a lot of great things with your phone. So sometimes I think it might be a privacy issue, but by not recognizing that, you are creating a problem for yourself. So let's just say you do a whole article or content based on a teapot, but then in the photograph that is the main photograph for whatever you're doing is a picture of a dog. There's going to be a conflict of information because the algorithm can see the dog, but you're talking about something that is not related. So you want to make sure that your content is gelling based on your photography when you're going to work with this. So usually pets get a lot more attention than maybe a teapot would. So maybe somebody would do that intentionally, but then the algorithm will realize that the content and the photograph do not jive and literally will create a block and there will be a gap in the middle. You have to think about what you're doing with this whole system. Each one of the platforms has its own rules and its own styling. And so if you say, you know what, YouTube, you're not going to get what you want, I'm going to give you what you want, and then you realize that you're here when you see other competitors up here. The difference is that if you're not playing with the system to the way that it's designed, you're always going to be here. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to many things, which includes your metadata, which is your search criteria, what people are looking for. Don't put in a word that nobody understands. So for example, let's just say I say green leaves. And are people going to look up for green leaves? Probably not, but they will look up a type of tree or a type of plant. So you want to be very specific in your search criteria to match exactly what people are searching for. So you don't want to come up with your own lingo or your own words that people really are not going to bang into a search engine. You have to think about the search engine is your best friend, but if you buck the system and say, you know what, you're not going to get what you need, I'm going to give you what I think you need, it's going to create that disconnect and there will be a gap in the middle. You also have to think about today's user is based on a cell phone. Most people are now getting rid of their desktops and laptops and just using a mobile device, whether it's a tablet or a phone. You have to make sure that all of the platforms that you're going to play with, you are complying with the rules of the platform. For example, if you want to have a great Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram, what you have to do is go through the scroll of it and look at the subject titles, and you'll realize that the subject titles are very limited in space. So you want to get to the point of whatever you're creating right within the first few characters versus creating a line of of information. For example, YouTube allows you to have 100 characters within a title, but if you look at the phone, you maybe have 20. So you want to make sure that whatever your content was, is that it's within the 20 and not within the 20 to 100 area, because people on the cell phone will not be able to see that. You want to get to the point, stay to the point, and keep on track. You also, because people are using a cell phone, you want to make sure that your photography that you're presenting your content with is identifiable and is not buried into background in any way. So if I want to focus on these photographs here, everything else here is irrelevant. So I want to make sure that the photography here is all focused here and not over here. A lot of the companies, including yarnspirations.com, has style guides when it comes to photography on what the focus of the brand is. And so some of the brands, they focus on the project itself. So they would go like this, where the model would be blurry in the background, because they don't want you to photograph. They don't want you to pay attention to the model. They want you to pay attention to this. And other things, they want lifestyle. So in the sense that here's a project, this is how it's used, and all of that. So you have to make sure that the photography and anything that you're presenting is going to work. Also, today's consumer, they don't give a shit about reading. So you have to make sure that whatever you present in photograph format is say, yes, I need that. And they will most likely not read the subject title, and they might not read most of the content. You have to stay punchy and you have to stay on point. So if I was to look for teapot covers, why would I call it anything else but teapot covers? You want to make sure that your photography and your words are very concise, and you also have to look at the stylings of each one of the platforms. So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of those have different stylings. It's very difficult as one creator to be able to create content that matches everybody. And so, for example, TikTok prefers their photos to be vertical. On YouTube Shorts, they have to be vertical. There's no choice about that. But then in long form content, you want to be landscape. And so you have to make sure that whatever you're trying to do, you have to do it well. And this is what my other point was in the previous video, is that you have your main hub spot, which what I said was my face. And so all the different platforms require something different. So you can't just go in one platform and duplicate exactly what you did with another platform, because the platforms are worked differently. And because of that, people behave differently on these platforms. So what works really well on TikTok may not work at all on YouTube, may not work on Instagram, and etc. So you want to make sure that you're looking at the styling guides in order to do that. So you just have to use your Google and just type in what is the best way to do a posting on maybe Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, if that still exists, Threads, and etc. You want to make sure that you are complying with whatever the platform is. And as soon as you go rogue and you say to the platform, you know what, I'm going to do it my way, I don't give a crap about your algorithm, that's when you're literally going to have that disconnect and never truly be successful. So work with what you got. Don't buck the system, but you can be unique as a person and your content can be unique, but you still have to follow the rules and the stylings of each one of the platforms.